So, in today's video, we are going to be working on this bonsai which is in need of much help. As you can see here on this tree, we have a lot of aerial roots that are growing. It's been raining a lot and the humidity has been really high here in Florida, so I've been taking advantage of that. This tree was grown from a cutting that I took off a branch of a larger tree, and it didn't really have any sort of shape that really made it anything special. So what I've been doing with it is I've been wrapping around aerial roots throughout the trunk to try to give it more shape and characteristics to the tree, that other than just, a misshapen, oddly cut branch that I turned into a cutting. So today I am going to continue that process. I think the large root right here has been there for about a year, and some of the other ones I got on there this spring, but I have a bunch of roots I have on this little straw right here that I'm going to reveal. And my hope is to continue doing this around the tree, not in a very uniform way. As you can see down here, there's a lot of roots going in different shapes and forms. So my hope is to kind of get the whole trunk covered up with roots. That way when they start growing, getting thicker, it's just going to be just a large mass of roots. So the first thing I have to think about is where the roots are actually coming from. As you can see, they are coming from a bunch of different areas, and I need to kind of keep that in mind because we want it for it to look a little natural and a little tangled up, but we don't want for it to be something where it's going to create an issue if we want to move branches down. Obviously, I'm leaving the top just grow crazy because my main focus right now is these roots. And if I start cutting everything back, the tree's not going to have a need for them, so they're just going to end up drying out. So what I'm trying to do right now is basically detangle them, because I just put them in the straw to protect them from the sun and the wind. So now I just kind of have to detangle them, kind of get them all individually separated. There we go. It's a good amount of them. There's a lot of them that are not that long and might not make it, but it is worth a try. My first step, it's going to go from the bottom of the trunk up. So right now we have like this one right here coming out of this knot, this cut, and I'm just going to try to bring it down slowly so it doesn't snap off, and kind of guide it. And there is a nice crevice and groove right in here from the thicker aerial root that I already have put into place. So I'm trying to just kind of lightly push it down slowly, that way I don't break it off, and kind of like, instead of having it go straight out, I kind of want it to start getting to go down that way. So that's probably going to be a good spot, because it looks like it might find its own way naturally down into the ground of the pot and the dirt, and that will kind of cover up that area a little bit. So that is the first one down. That's kind of been placed. You gotta kind of look, because some of these are already placed. So I just, like I said, I want to go from the bottom of the trunk going up and kind of placing all the roots that way I know they can layer basically. So the ones that are closest to the bottom of the base of the tree will go down first, and then the ones that are higher up will end up lying on top of those. That way it creates more of a cohesive look to it, and I don't just have a bunch of roots just intertwined. So this will be the next one going up the trunk, and from where it's starting right down here, I'm just gonna kind of wrap it around. Almost kind of want to follow the same way everything else is turning already, because it's gonna make it look a little bit more cohesive that way. but it doesn't necessarily have to be exact to that. What I don't want is, right now they're going clockwise. I don't want to have some roots going counterclockwise, because that's just going to create intertwine like that, and once the roots start getting thicker, it might create an issue. So that one I'm just going to kind of lay right there. Going up, this one right here is already put into place. This one looks like it might be the next one, and now we're starting with the ones that are kind of coming off the branches, or like the main branch leading up. Again, kind of twisting them into place like that. And as you can see, I'm just putting them in place and kind of letting them hang low, because once they're in a position, I can use some wire and kind of get them at a better spot. But the weakest part of the arrow roots are going to be where they're attached to the trunk. So we want to make sure we're moving them, that we're not twisting it or turning it from that pivot, because it will easily snap off, or it will just crack, and then the root will most likely die. Now once we start going up the trunk and into where the branches start splitting, we want to make sure that the root itself is not getting tangled up with any of the other branches. So again, kind of wrapping it around like so. Now, one of these branches has a bunch coming out of it, so I'm going to grab a couple of them, because some of them are a little too short still. So I'm going to start pulling out the ones that are longer, like this one right here. This one right here is a little long, so again, I'm kind of bringing it down, having it meet the trunk, and then twisting it around. But I kind of have to respect the fact that it's coming from that branch, so I have to, from where it's coming from, have it just kind of come straight down and meet it there, instead of trying to twist it all the way to the branch, because it might create some complications later on if I do it that way. Here, this one right here, I want to pull forward, because it's coming from this trunk, but it's wrapping around the other branches. So I'm going to try to pull it out. And pull it through, pull it down, pull it down, pull it down. It's a tangled mess. If you ever had long hair, this is what it feels like when you're trying to tangle your hair. Here we go. So now I have those. Oops, I pulled this one out. Now I have them coming from the branch itself down into the trunk area. So again, I'm trying to also get it spread out, because a lot of them are ending in the same area, so I kind of don't want them all to just fuse together and just kind of form this big mess. I want for them to have enough space so that when they do start growing and getting thicker, once they do start growing and getting thicker, they are able to be seen individually, and they're not just all going to be a big thick line of roots that are just circling around the trunk. I'm going to get rid of this inner branch right here, because it's in my way and it's not needed. Same thing with this one right here. I'm just gonna grab this handful right here that they're all kind of loose right now, and I'm just gonna, no, wrong way. Kind of loosely wrap them around from the back side. Here we go. Now, there's a couple of ones that are still kind of growing that haven't really made it to be long enough to be wrapped around. So for those, I'm just gonna have to wait. But now, I went from having like 12 roots just hanging straight down from here. Now they're all pretty situated around the trunk, and as you can see right here, that's just gonna really fill out the trunk quite nicely. And some of these I want them to go straight down through here and just connect to the dirt straight down. That way, over time, it will give us a wider base once those start growing. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab some wire and I'm going to go get a decent sized piece, probably about this much. Because I want to be able to hold all that into place. Now, this is the tricky part because I'm gonna wrap it around this branch right here. So I'm wrapping it around here just simply because there's no real roots coming from that branch, so I don't have to worry about hurting any of the roots. And I just kind of circle it around, and all I'm doing is kind of trying to get those roots to stay as close as possible to the trunk. That way they do what the biggest one did, which is kind of attach itself to the trunk itself. Now, these roots down here that I want to go straight down, I'm just kind of going to circle this right here, creating this little loop you see right there. And the reason why I have that loop is because I can just simply, the roots as they're coming down, kind of push them into that loop right there. Like I can just put this one straight through there like that, and then it's gonna fill that gap I want for it to fill, where it will create a wider base of roots coming down and filling in this gap right here between the actual trunk and the space of the pot. Now this plant is probably gonna be moving to a bigger pot later on, but this is going to be a second step into developing all those roots. So all these roots right here, I just want to go straight down into the dirt and creating that wider base right here. And probably eventually over time, this branch is going to come down like this to fill that area in. As you can see, I have aerial roots growing all the way from up here. So this ones up here might not be used, but everything else that can be used will be used into this tree. One of the things that it's helping, it's not just the rain, it's the fact that it is in a smaller pot. So although that is not ideal for the long term to have a tree in a reduced size pot, it is helping me create more aerial roots because the tree is trying to find more oxygen that it cannot get in the pot. And since it's full of rain all the time, it's doing that. So this is going to be the following step. It's just going to be let everything grow, and hopefully as many of these roots as possible will make it through. Once they reach the dirt, they're going to be pretty fine, but as soon as we don't have any really cold nights, it'll be all good. So thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, comment, like, subscribe, all that jazz, and I will keep you guys updated on this project and many others as I keep working on them. Have a good day. Bye. Thanks for watching my video. Make sure to like it, leave a comment below, and for more art related videos, go to my channel and subscribe.